I was actually pretty surprised to learn that our final presenters of the evening have never actually worked together before. And if you just listen to the music of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the influence is pretty clear. Please welcome Flea, Anthony Kiedis, and the king of funky punk, Tony Bennett.
I left my heart.
Give it away now.
In San Francisco.
Paging Tony Bennett. Paging Tony Bennett.
Mr. Bennett,
come
this
on.
is the pinnacle event of the decade, Mr. Bennett, and you have
you,
showed
sir?
an outrageous disrespect for attire.
I was just listening to you on MTV with the Red Hot Chili Peppers guys.
I heard that.
Yeah, you like that?
I like it.
What a deal. Well, let's get your headphones on so you can hear what's going on. You look, you're impeccably dressed,
I don't
Tony.
have to. I am impeccably dressed.
You are so, you are the epitome of class. You are
Hooray
Mr. Cool.
for the difference.
You're unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a proper introduction. Frank Sinatra called him the best singer in the business.
What does he know?
Believe me, that's quite a compliment, isn't it? A career that has spanned 5 decades, 90 albums, awards, countless. We can't even get into your awards, Tony. 8 Grammys. From the day in the 50s to the recent triumphs with what we just heard, the MTV generation, capped by his Album of the Year Grammy in '95, legions of fans from all over, a consistent and long career epitomized by musical excellence and integrity. He has long been known as the standard singer because any song he does becomes a standard. Do you like that?
I love it.
Isn't that a great line?
That's what I try to do.
Isn't that a great line? Bennett has cruised his way through.
Also, in the last 5 years, I've received 7 Grammys.
Wait a minute. That was all in the last 5 years. That's right.
That's right.
That's magnificent.
Thank
That
you.
is just incredible. Tony Bennett, the man the New York Times said has not just bridged the generation gap, he has demolished it. He got a new autobiography. Well, the only one, really. The first and only autobiography, The Good Life, Tony Bennett. See, I can't hear the song without thinking I got to have a little vino, I got to have some pasta. Listen, listen, that's beautiful. Doesn't that make you want to? Some songs you hear, it just makes you want to have something that goes with the song. But you want to have a red wine with this? Want to have a little?
You're getting very nationalistic.
What do you mean? What are you saying? Come on, seriously. Doesn't this fit nicely with romance and a nice Italian dinner?
Absolutely.
It does, right? Well, of course, this was in Goodfellas, too, so maybe that is...
Hey, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Slow down. Slow down.
I'm
now.
slowing down now.
Don't talk about the Italians being in the underworld. There's every nationality's in the underworld.
Yeah, you better believe that.
There's the Murphia. There's the Kosher Nostra.
Yeah, got that?
They're all there.
That's right. I'm married to one.
I got that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm married to an Italian, so I know about it.
Well, good.
Believe me.
And then lay off the Italians. They do too many good things.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Tony? There are some firsts that you are involved in that I want to discuss with you because I think the number one thing that people think about you, Tony, is how does a guy like that survive so many years? And it's just your story, and it's in the book, The Good Life. You read this book and you go, I know, you don't compromise. You stay Tony Bennett.
Right.
And along the way, there's the stops and this, and you got to go this way.
Sure,
and you got to go
it's
that
all
way.
part of it.
Yeah. But let me get to some of the first that I believe that people should remember you for. The first, you did the first Tonight Show.
Right.
That is correct. Who were the
The
guests?
first Merv Griffin show.
A lot of first in television, right?
A lot of firsts.
Yeah. The first Tonight Show. Who was the guest on the first Tonight Show? You singing, and who else? Do you remember?
Yeah, there was Groucho Marx.
Yeah, Groucho, and that was it?
And Mel Brooks.
Whoa. Nice lineup, huh?
Yeah, wonderful lineup.
Yeah, that was 90 minutes.
And
at
I'll
the time.
never forget Johnny Carson, when the show ended, he said, well, that's the first one. He said, let's see how it goes. He had no idea that it would be as institutional as that.
And was he a major fan of yours? Is that why he said, I got to have somebody or a friend of yours?
I have no idea. I was very hot at that time.
Yeah.
And they had me on for a rating.
Right.
I was the Michael Jackson of my day.
Yeah, you were.
Who the hell do you think I am, Michael Jackson?
Yeah. You did the little spin around?
On
the Bravo thing, and you go, who do you think I am, Michael Jackson?
Right.
Yeah. But you were the Michael Jackson of your day. You did the first Tonight Show. You did the first, that's a first. You did the first country and western crossover hit.
Right. Cold, Cold Heart.
Hank
Williams song.
Right. The first, write them down now, folks. They're going to be very important. The first, the first real life character on The Simpsons.
Right.
Unbelievable. Another one. Another first.
Look, it's Tony Bennett.
Well, kids, there it is. Capital City.
Hear that?
Do I need these earphones?
Sure, so you can hear some of this stuff.
All right.
We're taking you down memory lane, Tony. Yeah. And the volume's underneath there.
There's a swinging town I know called Capital City.
That's the first real-life character on The Simpsons.
Hello,
Yeah.
Look, it's Tony Bennett.
City. It's the kind of place that makes a bum feel like a king.
Yeah.
And it makes a king feel like some nutty cuckoo.
So we got the first Tonight Show. We got the first country western crossover hit. We got the first real-life character on The Simpsons. No! And the first A&E by request. They started doing that, right?
Yeah, I invented the show. Yes, I created it.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Tony Bennett, an all-star tribute live by request on A&E. Started that how? I mean, you said, I got an idea.
I just made it up. A&E said, okay, let's give it a try. And it worked so well. We've had magnificent artists on like Johnny Mathis and James Taylor and Phil Collins. And, oh, gosh, I'll tell you, it's the ratings are phenomenal on it.
Yeah, it's a great concept. And what happens, Tony, is the people from around the world, they call in and they go, hey, Tony, do, Rags to Riches, do Because of You, do...
Sure.
And you really do, honestly...
It's right on the spot.
Honest to God, well, probably, though, you're ready for people because you know kind of what they're going to request, right? They're going to request...
Not really. No,
Have you ever been thrown by it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? By something that you don't really know about?
But you just say, I don't know it.
Yeah, and then go to another call, right?
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Either that or sing another song.
Right. Let's go back to the 50 years of showbiz because this is where the people out there who want to be something with themselves, want to do something with their lives, this is where they can get out of the good life. This is what they can get out of your book. You're sitting there, you are hot, as you say, right? You're smoking, you're cooking. Then Clive Davis becomes the president of Columbia Records, right? And at the time, he wants his rock and roll is taking over, right?
Yeah, well, that's what he thinks.
Yeah, that's what he thinks. Right, that's what he thinks. So he's telling his people on the label, and you believe me, who has the last laugh? Tony Bennett. Streisand, he's asking Streisand to do Bob Dylan, you mentioned in the book, and all this, he wants everybody to go rock. And you hated this. You didn't want any part of this.
He wanted me to do Janis Joplin. I mean, I don't wear dresses.
Wait. And then he literally suggested that you sing what by Janis Joplin? He said, did he give you a specific song?
No, it just anything that was in the top 10. He just wanted me to cover any record that at that time was in the top 10.
Yeah,
which are completely forgettable now. No one remembers what the top 10 was.
There you
then.
are.
And that's how it was. And I just always introduced new songs and was very successful at it. We introduced 35 songs into the Great American Songbook, that like The Shadow of Your Smile and The Good Life and Who Can I Turn To and Because of You and Rags to Riches and a lot of songs.
Yeah.
And Blue Velvet and I don't care what Bobby Vinton says. I was the first one to do it.
That's right. Now, why is it? Since you are the first one to do it, why is it that he had the big hit with it? Who sold more records with that? Blue Velvet.
Why? What's the difference?
I don't know. You did it first.
What is it? Why is it so important about who sold the most records on it?
Well,
one is Payola, and one is a song that was made very well.
Bobby Vinton was on the tape.
It'll still sound good.
Yeah. What year did you do it in? I want you guys
1950.
I want you guys to wrestle. You and Bobby Vinton.
No, it's easy.
Yeah.
If you want me to wrestle with Bobby Vinton,
yeah.
I don't pick on little guys.
Blue Velvet. Hey, did you see the movie Blue Velvet with Dennis Hopper?
I never saw that, but it must be nice.
No.
Isabel Rossellini's in it.
Oh, yeah.
She's
now that's a beautiful woman, Tony. That's a beautiful woman.
That's right.
Anyway.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
No, I love Isabel. She's been in here. I'm in love with her. I mean,
good.
Believe me, I'm in love with that woman. Anyway, so they want you to do these rock and roll stars, but you're Tony Bennett. You say, I don't want to do this. Forget about that. I'm not doing this. I'm not a girl. I don't wear a dress. I'm not this. At one point, you bring up that you got sick. Did you get physically sick when you had to do this?
Yeah, I threw up.
Okay.
But you know what? If it wasn't Clive, it would have been someone else.
Sure.
I mean, that's the nature of the music business. They'll always try and get the artist to do something that'll make a quick buck, which is always very quickly forgettable, whatever some silly little song, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still waiting for David Letterman to eat goldfish.
You know what? They're still doing that today, though.
Sure.
No.
They'll always do it.
No, but as a matter of fact, it seems to me that today they just want the songs to last, maybe 10 minutes, and they don't care about the artist lasting a long time. It's sort of...
That's wrong.
It is definitely wrong.
I don't like that because there's a lot of young artists that are wonderful, and if they were treated right, they could stay around a long time.
Yeah. Tony, I have to go back to your gastronomical problem again. So
what is it?
You got sick when you had to record the song. You said you threw up.
Yeah.
And last night on the Bravo show, you said you threw up. You had to walk out of the jazz club after you heard Charlie Parker. It was so beautiful.
I keep throwing up.
What is wrong with you? Did you have a bad meal?
It's called agita. It's an Italian word.
Agita, yeah.
It means your tummy doesn't feel well.
But honestly, when you first saw Charlie Parker, you were seeing him, and he's blowing right in your head.
Right up my nose.
And he's blowing it right up your nose, and you say, "Oh!" But
I never heard anything like it, and even to this day, I get goosebumps when I hear him. It's like listening to Pavarotti or Caruso. There's so much soul and spirituality that when someone does it right, I just love it.
But you went out and threw up there, too. You were so sick.
No. Where?
Yeah, you said on the Bravo last night, you said that I went out.
You mean for Charlie Parker?
Yeah, for Charlie Parker.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I know. But what would make that happen?
What?
What would make that happen? Did she go outside and throw up?
Because of how wonderful he played and the intensity. And no one ever played that wide or that magnificent that I ever heard before.
Yeah, that must have been unbelievable.
So it affected me emotionally. Do you mind if I get emotional?
No, I don't.
I am Italian, you know.
No, I'd like you to get emotional. I'm going to hold you in just a second. Seriously.
Oh, look out.
Yeah, hold on.
I heard about guys like that.
You behave yourself now, Tony. Behave yourselves. Speaking of San Francisco, the federal government has declared San Francisco Bay contaminated by dioxin. This is in this morning's paper.
You're kidding.
That doesn't seem right.
What is dioxin? Is that a new rock group?
They are very good. They are very...
Dioxin, live in concert.
Yeah. Dioxin is a compound, Tony, I'm glad you brought this up, linked to cancer and other health problems.
Wow.
They have proposed, the Environmental Protection Agency proposes to list the bay as polluted. They want to crack down and clean it up.
I will definitely get some Evian when I get up there.
Yeah, you don't be drinking out of that bay, man. We're going to be right back with Tony Bennett. Hold on. And as you said, Charlie Parker was playing right up your nose.
1949. Tony worked part-time on the circuit, little clubs, saloons, amateur nights. People told him to get a nose job. The market was ripe for pretty boy Italian crooners with all-American names. He kept his nose and did it his way.
Live from Hollywood, it's the Jonathan Brandmeier Radio Showgram. I'm Ed McMahon. And now, here's Johnny B.
Yeah. Oh, listen to this. Yeah. Hey, parents out there with kids.
All God's children got rhythm. All God's
Tony
children
Bennett.
got swing.
In the house. Johnny B, radio
Maybe
show.
they haven't got money.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't got shoes.
Come on now.
All God's children got rhythm. Push away the blues. Yeah. All
The new
God's
CD.
children got trouble.
For parents and kids. Thank you, Tony, for allowing us to have a CD that we
When
can
they
listen to
stop and go,
together.
ho, 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 the old trouble's bound to go
It's
away.
The Playground. Tony Bennett, The
God's
Playground.
children got swing.
Duets with Rosie O'Donnell and Elmo. Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog. Hard to work with those guys, aren't they?
Not at all. No,
Nah,
in fact,
Kermit?
it's the other way.
Kermit, not trouble?
Great improvisation. I'm
You
telling
sure?
Yeah, really.
I heard Kermit
I
was a
wouldn't
lot of
mind.
trouble. For a frog, I mean. For a frog, he was a lot of trouble.
Yes, to the untrained eye, it would appear that I have Tony Bennett locked in this here case. But, in truth, it is a fully operational automated Tony Bennett, of which I got the only one ever made. What's this?
Shaking the blues away.
Yeah. Tony coming out of a cage or a glass booth, right?
Right.
Tony
we won an
Bennett.
ACE award for that film.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. This is a great new CD, Tony Bennett, The Playground. If your kids are starting to get into, the Walkman, putting the Walkmans on and not paying attention anymore, at least slip one of these in the disc.
Hey, Jonathan, you
Yeah,
know
buddy.
what? Right in the middle of what you're doing, I must tell you, I've never been plugged like this before.
Thank you. Is
Really,
that good or bad?
No, it's good.
Yeah.
I've never been this plugged up.
Well, you know what? It's I think it's important because, first of all, one, people want to see you. Two, they got to know if you don't bombard somebody with something, they don't know what's out there. There's too many things coming out. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of things happening, especially this program.
So if you're walking
Right
around,
now.
yeah, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. This is totally happening. We were talking about Mickey Rooney off the air because I was saying in the book. You mentioned that there's only a couple of people that I mentioned that I'd never heard anyone talk about Judy Garland as you do and as Mickey Rooney did. And I wanted you to hear Mickey Rooney listening to Judy Garland singing.
15,000 times a day.
That's Judy.
I hear a voice within me say,
oh, God, my heart.
Hide yourself
Yeah, look at
behind
this.
a screen. You shouldn't be heard. You shouldn't be seen.
See that?
You're just an awful in-between.
Nobody in the world like her.
Yes, indeed.
Listen to this.
That's what I am, an in-between.
Oh.
It's just like smallpox quarantine.
Tony, I put this on, right? He's in the studio. I put this on. Mickey Rooney's going,
Yeah, but he's right.
you know, his eyes were closed. He was just...
No, but he's right.
Yeah.
You know, they had the best training in the world out in Hollywood here. You know, they were young kids, and they just had the greatest training at MGM. And that's why they were just, both of them, the best performers that ever lived.
Yeah, you know, you bring up the fact that, and then we just talked about this because of the re-release of The Wizard of Oz. And by the way, Mickey, of course, loved you too.
I am the biggest Tony Bennett fan in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that wild?
People don't sing like
I
that.
never heard that.
Yeah, it's Mickey Rooney.
Well,
I
what an
am
honor.
the biggest Tony Bennett fan in the world.
Mm-hmm.
People don't sing like that.
People don't sing like that. He also said this.
That really makes me pretty sick and rotten.
Yeah, that was your last album or something. I don't know what it was. I said, do you like his last album? No.
That really makes me pretty sick and rotten.
You know it. All right. And now, anyway, so we're talking about Judy Garland because of the re-release of The Wizard of Oz, Tony, and we had the Munchkins in, you know, this and that, and we were talking about the drug use on the set of The Wizard of Oz, and you bring it up. She was on, they were really, MGM was, it's in your book. You looked at me like, no, yeah.
What? About what?
MGM treated her crazy. They were sexual advances, verbal abuse, uppers, drugs.
Yeah.
That you bring that up in the book.
Yeah,
right?
well, it happened to everybody in the whole country.
Right, but no. I know, and I know it did happen to you, and I know you had a drug problem. And
you too.
But no, it did not happen to me.
Oh.
No, but I know it's in your book. You bring that up. But Judy Garland, you knew Judy Garland. So
You and Woody Allen, huh?
Yeah, no.
You never did it.
No, didn't
You
what?
never inhaled.
I never inhaled, no.
Okay.
No, I exhaled and inhaled.
Oh.
But Judy, that's a true story then about Judy Garland, because I want to get the definitive answer on it. She definitely had some trouble with MGM on the set.
Not MGM. It was the whole era, you see. But she was just so good that no one sang like her. No one ever will sing like her.
Yeah. Is that the thing that the press is jumping on in your book? The drug stuff that you did? Is that why you kind of look like, oh, I don't know about
Well,
this?
they have to sell papers.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that I see when they highlight it, and they're talking about, Tony Bennett says, you know, the press releases a statement that he had a major drug problem, whatever.
I didn't.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm addicted to is coffee.
Right. Me too.
I'm still addicted to it.
Yeah, right. But that's what they
Should
jump
be
on.
outlawed.
Yeah. Tony, if coffee's outlawed, I'm dead. I'm dead if coffee is outlawed.
See,
okay?
there it is. You're addicted.
Yeah. I love the story of Judy Garland that you gave her some money, cash money, because she never saw
I
it.
didn't do that.
Somebody did.
No, it was one of the presidents of Caesar's Palace.
But she never really saw cash. Was that the deal?
No, everybody else took care of anything that she wanted. She never had cash in her hand in her life. So I told the president, he was the producer. We did a show with Woody Allen and Judy and myself in Washington, D.C., in a stadium.
Right.
And she told me just before the show, she said, no one's ever given me money in my whole life. And someone else has always bought anything I needed. So I told the president of Caesar's Palace at the time, I said, if you want Judy to feel good, I said, just give her some money. And he gave her $2,000 beside her regular salary. But she went ape. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I walked in the dressing room and she was jumping up and down on the sofa, and you know, she was just throwing the money up in the air. She said, "I never had this happen in my whole life."
The other thing I wanted to talk about was the paintings here, because I want to buy this one. I want to buy the Golden Gate Bridge.
Thanks.
Did somebody buy that yet? Who bought it?
No, I gave that to a disc jockey who had retired in New York City.
William B. Williams.
Not Willie B.
Who else? WNEW.
No, it was
somebody.
so long ago. I forget who
Look
he
at
is
that.
now.
Oh, I love this.
He had retired from WNEW, and I gave it to him.
I love this. Okay, let me buy. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me buy this one then. Let me buy the cabs. New York Yellow Cab #1, oil on canvas. Let me buy that one.
Right. No, that's sold.
Sold. How much did you get for that?
A lot.
A lot, really?
Yeah.
Wow. What's the top dollar you got for these paintings, the Tony Bennett work?
$40,000.
$40,000? Which one of these is 40? Oh, look at Duke Ellington. I'll take that one.
No, you can't buy that. That's mine. I would never sell that.
Seriously?
It's my favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
I love Duke. He was one of the great men of all time.
Let me buy. Oh, how about this? Sunday in Central Park. Let me buy this.
That's sold.
All right, never mind. Let me buy this.
Which one?
Homage to Hockney, oil on canvas.
Yeah, that was a tribute to David Hockney, and it was at his home in Malibu.
Can I buy that?
No. That's in the Butler Museum of Art in Youngstown, Ohio.
Where do I get to buy your stuff? Where at any gallery?
Editor Gallery in Soho in New York City.
And signed, it's worth more, isn't it? And when you sign it, when you
sign it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you better believe that. What if you sign my book and I just put that up? I could sell that for $40,000, couldn't I?
You could try it. I don't know. I don't think you'll get anything.
I bet I will. They line up. I guess in Chicago they went nuts for you. They're going crazy in Skokie, Illinois, at the bookstore there. They went nuts. Chicago was like where you started doing the clubs, right? The real 7 shows a night, sort of.
Oh, that was in the New York City at the Paramount Theater.
But you did these 7, 6, and 8. That was the way it was in those days, right?
In clubs it was very inhuman. They had 3 shows a night years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You would still do 200 shows a year though.
Right.
200 shows a year.
Right, for 45 years. This is my 50th year in show business.
You are out of your mind. You are out of your Tony
Yeah, but
Bennett.
I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you didn't, you wouldn't be doing it. He is Mr. Cool, Tony Bennett. Hold on.
It's the Jonathan Brandmeier Showgram.
And the king of funky punk, Tony Bennett.
Yeah. Give it away now. That is unbelievable. Tony Bennett in the house. The new book is called The Good Life. He signs copies at 8 o'clock, Book Soup. Also, the CD is out. Tony Bennett, The Playground. Kids and parents alike will love this. Your son, Danny, manages you, right, Tony? Now, Tony and I have been going on off the air about stories they start about people that aren't true. Many of the things I brought to you, even up on the air, I'd heard about you. And you're knocking them down. It's not true. The George Burns story we just talked about off the air is another example. But maybe I'll get to that, maybe I won't. But tell me what's true. Pearl Bailey discovered you, yes or no?
Yes.
Bob Hope named you.
Yes.
Whew. I'm passing the Tony Bennett trivia contest. Okay, Pearl Bailey discovered you. Bob Hope named you. You, true or false, just tell me true or false, you jumped Don Rickles for bad-mouthing you.
Yes.
All right. That's a true one. Why is it? What, you beat up Don Rickles?
Oh, we didn't beat him up.
What'd you do?
Oh, we just threatened him because he was unknown. I didn't know who he was. He had just started out, and he was rapping this friend of mine, Chuck Wayne, who's a great guitar player.
Yeah.
My accompanist, my first accompanist. And Chuck said, there's a guy downtown who's bad rapping us. And he was just starting out, and we went down, and sure enough, when we hit the door of Murray Franklin's nightclub down there on Collins Avenue in Florida, Don was saying, that Tony Bennett and Chuck Wayne, they think they're wise guys and all this. And so when the set was over, we walked over and we just pinned him up against the wall, and we grabbed his neck, and we just said, if you ever mention us again, it's the end of your life. And he said, no, okay, you got it.
I love that one.
Beautiful, Mr. Bennett.
Beautiful, Mr. Bennett. I love that one. All right, now your son.
I didn't have the idea of someday I'm going to manage Dad. I've always had a tremendous interest in the business, having grown up in it, having played music, and it was a hobby of mine to read contracts and study, and study how other people have done it. So he was without a manager at that point, and he basically said, what do you think of us doing this together?
Yeah, so that's your son, Danny.
And he's been managing me for 17 years, and I want to just say one thing listening to that. He is brilliant. He's really changed my whole life.
Absolutely. Think about this. He now, but I want to know what was in the head. This is son, father, son.
Mm-hmm.
Danny's managing, okay? He gets you to the MTV crowd. You Flea,
Right.
Anthony, and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, etc. You get him to switch clothes. How did he convince you? Son, how did he convince you that this would work? Tony Bennett, Mr. Cool.
He came to me one day and he said, Dad, you have a loyal audience. They always fill up the halls for you, but I must tell you that, he said, people my age right now, he said, the Beatle generation, they have 2 or 3 children. He said, they're starting to like your music. He said, if you don't mind, I'd like to experiment and put you on the The Simpsons, put you on SCTV with John Candy and David Letterman, and then we gravitated over to the MTV.
Right.
And then we won the Album of the Year, which was a shocker. I couldn't believe it. On the Grammys, we won the Album of the Year.
It is one of the great stories of all time.
I know.
I mean,
loved
Tony Bennett Unplugged, the biggest selling album of your unbelievable already career.
Hey, Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
I'm enjoying this so much.
Yeah.
Is it possible that we could have a tape of this show? I'd love to save it. I really mean it. You do a tremendous job.
You certainly could have a tape of this.
Thank you.
You promise to sign my book?
Absolutely.
All right. Would you sign my chest?
No.
All right, thank you. How about my back? Because I'll sell myself for $40,000. I'll sell myself. But, you think about that, Tony. It is still you're Tony Bennett, and still your son comes to you and says, I got an idea. We're going to do this. We're going to go with this. You just must have really trusted his instincts and said, well, why not? But you could have easily said, are you kidding me? Red Hot Chili Peppers? What are you, crazy? I'm Tony Bennett. This is crazy.
Right.
Did you have a little bit of that?
Well, yes, it was a challenge, but then I was completely surprised how well it went over with everybody, and then, it just built and built. And
you think about this. Tony Bennett is 57 years old when MTV goes on the air for the first time. That's how, think about that.
Right. We had a swing concert at Radio City in New York City, and it was a big, big success.
Yeah.
We had the Squirrels, Zippers, and people were dancing in the aisles. And then we had Count Basie's band.
Wow.
And the people were dancing in the aisles. And then I came out, and they were dancing in the aisles. We had a big swing party right at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
So swing is coming back.
Oh, it's definitely back. There's no doubt about it. But as you said, you never left. So
right.
Tony Bennett, you never left. You just they just caught up with you at the end here. This whole new generation. The second most watched Unplugged in MTV history was your show.
Right.
Second most watched Unplugged.
Yeah, and they're doing a retrospective of television at the Whitney Museum in New York City, and they have my Unplugged show as an example of MTV.
That's incredible. Doing the Lollapalooza tour, you did some stuff with those guys.
Right.
What about Ozzy Osbourne is going to be coming in here tomorrow.
Oh my God!
You should do Ozfest. You got any message for Ozzy Osbourne? You should cover Iron Man.
Tell him to cool it.
Yeah, Tony Bennett doing Iron Man. I think that would be something.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Bennett doing Iron Man.
Oh, I don't want to do that. I wouldn't do that.
Swing, maybe if you swing it a little bit. I am Iron Man.
No, I don't do that.
Of course you don't.
I still sing Gershwin and Cole Porter. Thank you.
Thank you for so you don't want to do that if Ozzy asks you. No, of course not. You're not doing any Ozfest.
No. Let him do it.
You can. All right, Tony Bennett, ladies and gentlemen. You can paint, by the way, to your dead, because that's another thing. You've been doing that since you were 14, I believe. You've been doing it a long time. You can paint to your dead. You can sing to your what? 100, 105, 106. What do you think?
As long as I'm healthy, I'm singing.
That's exactly right. You better believe it. If you had to list 3 favorite performers of all time,
Jimmy Durante, Fred Astaire, and Frank Sinatra.
Jimmy Durante, Fred Astaire, Frank Sinatra.
I'm sorry, one more.
Yeah.
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
Yeah.
I see them bloom for me.
It's like a little bossa nova there. I heard this is a different version of this.
Yeah, you know what he did? I was at his last record date, and he did John Lennon's "Give Us Peace."
Oh yeah.
And he did it with a bossa nova beat, and he kept saying, "Give me peace, give me peace," and he got tired of doing that, saying it over and over. He said, "Give me a piece, I want a piece."
Saxmo! And you say Jimmy Durante?
A-dink-a-dee.
Yeah.
A-dink-a-dee.
Oh yeah.
Simply means a-dink-a-dee. A-dink-a-doo.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, sorry.
Do you think you can get enough wind through that button nose of yours to give our call letters?
Oh yes, Johnny B Radio Showground. That's what we are. Tony Bennett, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. One more time. You can see him live. He'll sign the new autobiography, the only. Will it be the last autobiography? I don't think so.
I believe it'll be the last one.
No, it can't be.
After this show, I know it's the last one.
Remember, a good song is a good song. And you know what Frank Sinatra said?
What?
Stay away from the cheap ones.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It worked.
It was sent in a demonstration record, and it was a Boulevard of Broken Dreams. And I immediately, I said, this guy's got it.
Yeah. Mitch Miller knew right away. I'll let you go out to this, okay? The Polluted Bay song.
The loveliness of Paris.
Tony Bennett, you are the man. You are Mr. Cool.
Seems somehow sadly gay.
I bow before you, sir.
Beautiful, Mr. Bennett. But if you're going to write a check for these CDs, I still need to see some ID.
Use the Visa card that automatically deducts from your checking account at the millions of places Visas accept.
I left my ID in
San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Good one. Yeah. Tony, let me use your Visa card for a day, and then I'll bring it back to you when you get back from Book Soup, just for one day.
I don't want to go bankrupt.
Tony Bennett, ladies and gentlemen.
Love is all that ever matters.
Will you dance with me during this?
I'm not that way.
All right, whatever. Just thought I'd ask.
This is the Jonathan Brandmeier Showgram.